Football is called the beautiful game, a sport meant to unite people across cultures and borders. But when it comes to FIFA, neutrality is much more complicated than it sounds. Politics, power and global influence have always shadowed the sport's biggest governing body. So firstly, for all you people who don't know what FIFA is, it is the world's governing body of football, and it is in charge of organising and promoting big football tournaments around the globe, the most prominent being the World Cup. Its primary objective is to improve the game of football constantly, and to promote it globally in light of its unifying educational, cultural, humanitarian values, particularly through youth and development programmes. FIFA's official rulebook has always stated that they must remain politically neutral along with their members' associations, as well as their confederations, but recently they have been accused of political involvement in the lead up to the World Cup 2026. Just picture this for a moment, a politically neutral organisation, or so they say, that governs football, giving a peace prize to the US president at the draw for the World Cup. You think that's a joke? Nope. Gianni Infantino did exactly that for Donald Trump, and to thank Trump for helping to end wars and save lives. Now you can argue whether Trump has successfully ended wars or not, this is not this type of video, but the point still remains, this is clearly not a politically neutral organisation. Trump and Infantino's friendship has been blossoming since 2018, when Infantino came to visit him in his first term. Infantino was later spotted at the Davos Economic Forum, the signing of the Abraham Accords, an agreement between Israel and certain Arab countries in 2020, and even at Trump's second inauguration in 2024. I mean, come on, I get it. You obviously don't care about this idea of political neutrality, but at least don't make it so obvious. Delegates from Europe's governing body UEFA staged a walkout from the FIFA Congress in Paraguay when Infantino arrived hours late after joining Trump on the tour of the Middle East, accusing him of prioritising private political interests which does the game no service. You know what the most interesting thing is as well? In 2018, Infantino said himself, "It is very clear that politics should stay out of football and football should stay out of politics." Yet the man attends UN meetings. Make it make sense. The World Cup was always a great time. The country comes together to finally watch England bring it home, fans enjoying themselves, the cameras trying to find every stunning woman in the span of about 10 minutes. There is so much more, but we would be here for hours. But of course, World Cups can also be political stages, as seen in both Russia 2018 and Qatar 2022. Now when Qatar got the bid for the World Cup 2022, they had no infrastructural stadiums. Interestingly, Japan was one of the contenders for the 2022 World Cup. Here is a map of Japan. As you can see here, every red dot represents a stadium. Japan already had a wealth of stadiums infrastructure, making it a prime opportunity to promote football in Asia with minimal construction costs. Now compare it to Qatar. When they are awarded the World Cup, every red dot here, 0. The country had no stadiums ready to host an event of this magnitude. So how did Qatar go from 0 to 8 fully operational stadiums? Well, the answer is not great. Reports indicate that 6,750 migrants died during construction. Even more shocking, the Qatari leadership justified these deaths as being proportional to the number of migrants entering the country, a statement that drew international outrage. But the stadium deaths were just the tip of the iceberg. Qatar faces serious human rights issues. Women face physical abuse, 2 consenting adults living together outside marriage can face up to 5 years in prison, under Sharia law homosexuality is punishable by death, migrant workers involved in the World Cup often forced into labour, trafficked and held against their will. FIFA's decision to award the World Cup to Qatar highlighted the tension between political neutrality and reality. In particular, French President Nicolas Sarkozy, the then UEFA President, and French football legend Michael Platini to shift its support from the United States to Qatar. Now don't get me wrong, Qatar low-key might have given us one of the greatest World Cups in history, along with one of the greatest finals in history, with Messi finally winning the World Cup and Mbappe hat-trick, just pure vibes in that final and throughout the entire tournament. However, it did come with its issues that FIFA seemingly turned a blind eye to. Now the public were wondering why FIFA were getting involved in promoting political regimes that have instances of human rights abuses, and so Infantino, in all his wisdom and expertise, came out to respond to these issues by saying this.
Today I feel Qatari. Today I feel Arab. Today I feel African. Today I feel gay.
Sometimes FIFA's most political decisions are the ones it doesn't make. For example, punishing some gestures and ignoring others becomes a political act in itself. On 2016, on Armistice Day, England played Scotland, whilst Wales faced Serbia the following day. Their respective football associations asked FIFA to allow players to wear poppies on their shirts. FIFA banned any political, religious or commercial messages on shirts. the teams were allowed to wear black armbands embroidered with poppies in 2011 after Prince William and David Cameron appealed to the football governing body. However, 4 years later in 2020, players across Europe wore shirts calling for justice after the killing of George Floyd. This time, no fines, no punishments. FIFA praised players for spreading positive messages. Same rulebook, yet totally different enforcement of the rules. In 2023, when the Gaza-Israel conflict started, FIFA quickly came to the forefront to announce their politics neutrality. However, we're still looking for a joint World Cup 2030 bid for the UAE and Israel. It eventually went to Saudi Arabia, but that's a completely different story in itself. The endorsement of the UAE-Israeli bid clearly represented a political act, an attempt to use FIFA's leverage to support the process started by the Accords. Interestingly, Infantino went to a conference in Israel in 2021 that was led by the Jerusalem Post, which has been seen in recent years as a right-wing newspaper. The event took place at the Museum of Tolerance, which was linked to David Friedman, who was Trump's ambassador to Israel in his first administration. I mean, bro's not even trying to hide it anymore. He only has eyes for Trump. At the heart of all this is one uncomfortable truth. FIFA is too powerful to ever be neutral. FIFA isn't just a sports organisation. It controls billions in revenue, decides which country gets global attention, and has a prestige that can reshape a nation's image overnight. Hosting a World Cup is not just about football. It's about soft power, legitimacy, and global branding. And when the privilege of hosting a World Cup is given to governments accused of corruption, repression, or human rights abuses, football can't just hide behind the excuse of just football. Now, I admit this video has gone a bit long, but we have to hit that 10-minute mark. But I'm sure that football fans watching this will be wondering, where is possibly their biggest scandal that made headline news and caused 24 FIFA officials to be implicated? I'm talking about their 2015 corruption scandal. If you want to do a longer video on this, let me know down in the comments, but here are the general facts. In 2015, FIFA was rocked by one of the biggest corruption scandals in sports history. Senior officials arrested, indicted, and accused of accepting millions in bribes linked to World Cup bids, TV rights, and sponsorship deals. Multiple executives were banned for life. Just 2 days before FIFA's presidential elections, Swiss police stormed a hotel in Zurich. This wasn't just some backroom investigation. Officials were arrested in luxury hotel rooms at the request of the US Department of Justice. 14 people were indicted, including 9 FIFA officials and 5 sports marketing executives. They were accused of racketeering, wire fraud, money laundering, bribery, with over $150 million in illegal payments uncovered. But this wasn't new behaviour. According to US prosecutors, this corruption had been going on for more than 24 years. And so it's clear that FIFA is just not a neutral organisation anymore. It has economic and political leverage, and now it has been engaging in a corruption scandal for nearly 25 years. It was and is today clearly too powerful. It is no longer a footballing organisation set out to complete its primary objective as stated at the beginning of this video, but rather it has evolved into a huge organisation that has influence in every aspect of society. Gianni Infantino isn't just FIFA president anymore, he has become a global political figure. He speaks at UN assemblies, appears in economic forums, attends state-led conferences, praises world leaders from podiums meant for football, and every time he does, FIFA drifts away from its own rulebook. You cannot claim football should stay out of politics, while simultaneously embedding yourselves in the world's most powerful political circles. At some point, the mask slips, and people notice. But I hear you people saying, who cares, it's just football. But football isn't just football to billions of people. It's identity, it's culture, it's pride. I mean, look at the South Americans, look at the Asians during the World Cup. Like, it is just pure support and almost like patriotism for their country. But when FIFA aligns itself with certain governments or leaders, it sends a message, whether intentional or not. That message can legitimize regimes, it can silence criticism, it can rewrite narratives. But when fans, players, and journalists raise concerns, they are often told to stop being political by an organisation that is so political and is clearly not following its own advice. Because in a world where football is watched by more people than any election, pretending to be apolitical might be the most political act of all. Anyway, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe and to comment what videos you want to do next. See you later.